All right, looks like we're live. Welcome, shalom on this Sunday evening, July. I'm glad it's not July yet. I'm savoring June. I'm just loving summer. I'm done. I do not want to rush it. Anyway, it is this June 11th, 2023, and it is now. That is not a milk cow. That's my dog. Sound like he went moo. Sometimes he does sound like a milk cow. But it is, what is it, 9:40 p.m. Central Time. And we are going to go over the, what is going on here again? I haven't had my other computer on for a while, so it's kind of getting notifications popping up all over the place. I don't know. Some stuff you just gotta ignore, I guess. Anyway. All right. I'm just pulling up some tabs here while I'm waiting for people to come in. Up on the screen there, you have Apollo. The different ways he is depicted with a harp, a bow, and flaming arrow, and how about that one on the right? I think that's the '80s rock version of Apollo. Metallica or Bon Jovi or something. One second here. Oh yeah. Oh, my other computer is not. Maybe I should restart it. I've not had this other computer on for a long time, months, maybe even a year. I don't know. Actually, I think the last time I had this computer out was my garage sale last October. So it's been a while, and it's just all confused right now. I was going to use it for something, and low disk space, and I don't even know. Huh. Anyway, that one's not always been the best computer. It's kind of. I got it at Walmart thinking it would be better than the one I had, and it wasn't. And that was several years ago. And it's good for it's good for using in the garage or for I actually used it for my garage sale to play 70s oldies, 70s, 60s and 70s oldies music, and it worked great. I hooked up a speaker to it and it was rocking for my garage sale. Gotta have music, man. As soon as the music stops, it's just like people want to leave. Anyway, so it worked good for that, but it's just like it's kind of it's like rubbing two sticks together here. I'm not sure even what it wants from me. But anyway, then we got this other one, my regular one I've had, which ever since they made me update it last fall, it has run like crap. Wouldn't run without updating it, so I had to update it. And then once I updated it, it just ran like crap ever since. Anyway, because I think it was Windows 8. I just can't remember. I did not like it anyway. So, hope everybody had a wonderful Sunday, a restful Sunday. For some people, Sunday's a day of rest. when I was growing up, that was our day of rest. It was Sunday. The family would go to church, come home, have a wonderful, uh, nice dinner or afternoon, uh, roast or something, or just something always really good. And we would go through the Sunday paper in the living room. And that is, a lot of people did that back in the day. But anyway, Sunday was our day of rest, although we did have to do chores, of course, but for the most part, it was a restful day. So, which I like. I'm not really sure what's going on. Anyway, it's all right. I don't need the second computer. I was going to use it. It would be nice to have a second one up here, but it hasn't been on for a while, so it's got to do a bunch of updates and stuff. So I don't know. I'm not going to use that tonight. So anyway, I had a wonderful day. I hope you did too. I was out in my pole barn, uh, getting things all put together. Well, hey John, I hope I had a great Sunday. Sunday fun day. It was a fun day. Um, yeah, I went out my pole barn and I just got everything organized. It gets messy over the winter, and anyway, I've still got a lot of boxes, a lot of stuff I've not gone through since I moved. And then I got a bunch of stuff out of the collapsed garage. I got to go through. A lot of that got wrecked. Um, but anyway, get my work area, my tool, my workbench, and anyway, I had a great day. I hope you did too. Didn't work hardly any in the garden because this garden's done. It's probably the first time I didn't water it because I really didn't have to. I think it rained last night. But anyway, um, yeah, I was having fun. I had a great day. I hope you did too. It was a Sunday fun day. Yeah, I got a really nice workshop out there in my pole barn. I just love it. All my toys are in there. My motorcycle, my vehicles. Just it's fun. I love being out there. Me and my dogs. My dogs are just chilling, hanging out. They're loving it. I'm loving it. Uh, even a couple cats hanging out. So anyway, good times, man. I just love the summer. I love it. Got a lot of projects going on. You know what I mean? A lot of projects going on. So that's kind of fun. But I'm getting everything just like the way I want it. Um, and you know what? Really living life again after my move and after the COVID and after the end of the world bullcrap. And anyway, just kind of settling back in, like finally going through my stuff and I don't know, just getting things comfortable. You know what I mean? Hopefully I'll be here for many years to enjoy it. And my tomatoes are rocking. I've got several plants that have 3 tomatoes already on them. So I'm going to be having some tomatoes rolling in real soon. My celery's rocking. That's good news. A lot of plants are growing, and anyway, I'm super happy. I love this time of year. But yeah, I hope you had a Sunday fun day. It was really fun. It was a fun day. And I had a lady come from Duluth that came and bought um, this kind of like this coffee table thing with storage. This thing on wheels. It was really cool looking, actually. Really cool pine, knotty pine looking thing. Anyway, she came all the way from Duluth and she liked my tomatoes and I was talking about my garden. She said, "Oh, let's check out your garden." And I went and showed her the garden. And she said, "Yeah, that she's up in Duluth and their growing season they're about 2 weeks behind us. So they're just barely, their plants are really tiny right now. and they're I think they're like an hour north of here. But anyway, that's the second person that said that. Isn't that a blessing to not take religion seriously anymore? Yes, it is, John. It is. And you know what? Um, it's more godly too. Much more godly to get out of religion because I can serve God back the way I always did my whole life, and it worked out. You know what I mean? It was working out fine. It was working out fine. It was like I had God, I had one God. Jesus was never really in the picture, but it was me and God. And when I did good, He rewarded me, and when I did bad, I got punished. It's that simple. And like when I was in a jam, He got me out of jams, and I just always want to be good to other people, serve God, and do good things, and um, always do things like I know He's watching. And anyway, and even before I ever picked up a Bible, I was doing my good deeds in private. Never even knew that was in the Bible, but I would do my good deeds secretly. I would do good things. Like when I would go pick something up at an empty house or whatever, and um, or somebody at a house, I would shovel and it just snowed. I would like shovel the walks and stuff, and that not in the steps and everything, and not say who did it. I mean, it was kind of fun doing stuff like that. But anyway, I knew that before I even read the Bible. Like most of the stuff I already knew before I read the Bible. Like do unto others as you'd have unto do. That's pretty simple. Um, you know, right from wrong. It's that simple. Just be a good person. That's it. That is it. All right, that's right, John. Just be a good person. And I do believe, I do believe like the commandments, like not committing adultery. And that is like once you commit to somebody, you don't sneak behind their back and go with somebody else. I do believe that's like straight a commandment. I've never cheated on anybody in my life, ever, never, ever, and never would. Because that was like one thing I would never do is go behind somebody's back, ever. I would never have that in me. And that, I didn't know that was in the Bible, none of that stuff, you know what I mean? So there's certain things that just you're born with and you already know it before you pick up a Bible. Now that, but the Bible wasn't even printed till like 500 years ago. You know what? Who just had a really good video was Gnostic Informant. He just had a video. He put up a video about like the first gods. He like summed up who the first god was, or the first gods, or whatever. And so like we're doing these Greek gods, and they seem to be like pretty ancient. Well, before and it's what's weird, how the Romans were knocking off these Greek gods. They just repackaged the Greek gods. So like this Apollo here, when the Greeks repackaged Apollo, they even kept his name Apollo, the sun god Apollo. But actually, where did the Greeks get their ideas? Well, the Greeks got their ideas from somebody before them. Apollo, all these Zeus and these gods and stuff, the Greeks got it from somebody else before them, which I never even dawned on me. I figured the Greeks made this stuff up. This mythology or gods or whatever, but and he's dating stuff like 10,000 BC, which would make sense, which was like the real it was real like primitive, you know what I mean, life and stuff. And but they started like dealing with each other and bartering with each other and trading with each other, and multiplied everything, the people and everything, and Anyway, which would make sense would then by like 6,000 BC, by the time Adam and Eve come and Cain kills Abel, well, Cain gets exiled to a city. What city? They can't be the first people. What city? So Cain gets exiled to a city, right? And God puts a mark on him so nobody hurts him. No, who? Who? There's only 3 people, according to Genesis, that are even on the earth: mom, dad, kid. Mom, dad, Cain. Well, what city is Cain going to go to, and who's not going to hurt him? Well, it would make sense if there was civilizations before him. I mean, anyway, that was really interesting. He didn't bring up the part about Genesis and Cain and exile and stuff. I'm bringing that part up, but I'm saying it would make sense that there was something before Adam and Eve and Cain and Abel, because who is the city he's going to? So obviously, I think there has to be a lot of people before Cain and Abel and Adam and Eve. The ancient gods are all the same beings with different names and different cultures. Yeah. You know, like I said the other day, it would be funny if, like, after we die, we go to talk to God, and God says, "Yeah, you know, we had all these different gods for you, and you guys didn't use them." Uh-oh. Did it get blocked out? Oh, yeah, it did. But they are kind of all the same, because these gods are repackaged in Rome as the Roman gods, and then before these Greek gods, they were, I forgot what they called them. Yeah, they are kind of all the same. Well, you would. I mean, you just think if you're the first people, or there's no religion or anything, you'd think, okay, there's a god of the sun, and there's a god of the night, maybe the moon, you know, and the stars, right? Because there's dark, there's stars, there's moon. Then daytime, there's sun, and it all gives life. And then there's plants and all kinds of things. But yeah. I just changed my desk around tonight, and I'm facing north now instead of east. And I don't know if that matters, but you know what? It does. It's supposed to matter the way you sleep. Did you ever hear that? This is a big one. This is a big one in a lot of, like, I think Hinduism, all kinds of stuff. Buddhism, I can't remember. But anyway, which direction that you sleep. Like if your head is facing your head, there's a chart. And so if you live in the northern region, the northern hemisphere of like North America, or the southern hemisphere, or whatever, I'm not sure how they do it, but your head should face a certain directions. Like, what did they say? Not north. You shouldn't. I can't remember. There's charts where your head should. Your head's like a compass needle, like a needle to a compass. And you know what's weird? Like, my kids had to have their bed in a certain direction, because if I changed the bed in the middle of the night, they would turn and they would be laying the opposite way. They'd be laying the old way, like a compass needle. So I'd have to turn the bed back that way, because they'd end up facing the old direction. And I thought they're like compass needles. And I got to put the bed back the way it was. But maybe they wanted to face east or whatever. I can't remember if it's east. I can't remember. There's 2 directions I think you can face. I can't remember. And one's kind of iffy, and then the other one's a no-no. I can't remember. I know my bed's in the okay zone. I don't know. Some bedrooms, like my last bedroom, there's only so many ways you can face the bed, you know what I mean? I had a premonition that a tree was going to smash through my bedroom roof. and get me when I was in my bed. And I had a bad premonition. It was so bad. I was trying to move my bed in a different way because I knew it was coming. And there was no other way I could make my bed. It was just a weird shaped bedroom, and it was just like only one way. So I put it there's just no way I could put it any other way. And even when I went down to a twin bed, I just couldn't do it. And so I had to put it back and hope for the best. And yep, sure enough, I was at a job and there was some kind of a storm or something when I was gone. It was like 100 degrees out, really bad and humid. And I came home and there was a tree right through my roof, right over my bed, and the water is funneling in right onto my bed. That's a good reason to change things up. Yeah. Yeah. Well, I mean, the reason I changed my desk tonight is because I got a new piece of furniture. I swapped out a piece of, I had like some mahogany furniture, but I have all oak in here. So I had an oak piece. So I swapped out the dark mahogany, which is dark. And I swapped it for an oak piece. And it was kind of long. So I had to shift everything. And I thought, I think I got to move my desk now. So I moved my desk and yeah, I'm facing a different direction I've never faced since I moved up here. I've always been facing east since I moved up here. Now I'm facing north. So we'll see how it goes. Not bad so far. Test drive is okay. I'm liking it. I don't really care in my back's to the door because I got 3 guard dogs and my security camera is right in front of me on every there's nobody can sneak up on me. Unless it's like Casper the Ghost or something. I mean, which pretty sure it ain't gonna happen. So yeah, anyway, I think all these gods are spin-offs. Like, All in the Family, Jeffersons kind of thing, same thing. They just it's a spin-off. What was the other one? Mary Tyler Moore was a spin-off, and Rhoda got her own show, I think. Rhoda, I think it was. Can't remember. So anyway, yeah, I had a great day. I hope you guys did too. I had a fun day Sunday, fun day. That's right. Anyway, so yep, yeah, I'm liking it, Not bad, not bad. Lugging this thing in here by myself wasn't the funnest, and nobody would guess I'd put that in here by myself. In fact, all this in here. But I got moved because I used to move furniture, so I got moving furniture tricks, like how to get furniture inside of a door and lift it up, steps and all that kind of stuff. I only have 1 step, so it's not bad. But I got ways to move gigantic pieces of furniture by myself, and it worked. So anyway, yep, been here 5 years. I'm starting my 6th year, I think. Let's see, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. No, I'm starting my 5th year. Who's counting, right? It helps to have a dolly to move stuff. Yeah, yep, I did moved it from the pole barn to here with the dolly, and then I had a moving blanket when I was getting it through the door, but I had those little dollies, the little things with coaster wheels on it. I got a small one and a big one, and I put the coaster wheels on it and slid it, and I lifted the back and on something and slid it, and anyway, got it in the door, put it the rest on wheels and rolled it in. It was not too bad. Yeah, I got all that furniture moving stuff. Pretty easy. Uh, anyway, can't wait to start eating out of my garden. That's what I'm looking forward to. Making spaghetti and chili. I'm looking forward to making lots of spaghetti, chili, and pickling cucumbers, making pickles. Last year was not good. My cucumbers were not rocking at all. They're weird shaped. They hardly came in. I don't know. It's kind of funky. Oh, there's two black cats. I did not know that. They're eating out of the same dish. I thought there was one. Now it's like seeing twins. Now they're both in the same room. Anyway, Wildcat. So, anyway, we do thank the Father for getting us through another day and gathering us this evening. Amen. So, all right. They're not used to my desk being here, so I can have my feet under my desk. They haven't figured out how to get under here yet. All right, so let's talk about Apollo. Where is his little thing? Here it is. So Apollo, here's his. There's Apollo, god of the sun. Apollyon. They even talk about it in the book of Revelation, which I think it's funny. All right. And here he is. So sometimes he's got a harp, sometimes he's got a flaming arrow. So Apollo, like I said, he is also the Roman god Apollo, same name. But anyway, as far as the Greek god who came first, Apollo is a Greek god of sun and light. Not sure why that. My computer here. Not sure what's shining on that screen. That's the light behind me. All right. It's weird how it's picking up the light behind me. Because I'm facing a different direction. Just as long as we don't have to recite the Apollo's Creed. Oh my goodness. We had that in our church. And you know what was weird? They like I said, even as a little kid, it's kind of scary. It was like they chanted it. It was almost like being in a cult. On the third day, he rose again from the dead. He sitteth at the right hand of the God, the Father Almighty. I remember that. If you went to Lutheran church, for sure you probably had to chant. It was a chant. I mean, total chant. It was like something you'd hear a group of people doing out in the woods or something. Apollo's Creed. And that, why didn't everybody say, hey, wait a minute, who's Apollo? Like some kid should have said, hey, we had Apollo in school and it was a Greek god. Anyway, probably tell the kid to shut up, wouldn't they? Yeah, the Apollo's Creed. That is funny. And I could probably still recite it to this day. Anyway, wow, talk about brainwashing, huh? Yeah, we had the Apollo's Creed for sure. Apollo is a Greek god of sun and light. Apollo personified the qualities of the sun with his glowing golden hair. And like Helios, he was responsible for bringing the sun to the earth each day while riding on a golden chariot. Because of this, he was often described as Phoebus, meaning bright and pure. I always like to click on these. What are three important powers of Apollo? Apollo had many powers, but the power to heal, power to prophesy. So, don't give anybody any ideas. And the power to make music, because he had a harp. That's why he's got a harp. Were among the most important. He was also a great archer. Yeah, he did. He knows how to do the bow and arrow pretty good. I was raised in a Lutheran church, Missouri Synod LCMS. Really? You were from Missouri? Yeah. So you were raised just like I was. Same. Lutheran church is a Lutheran church. But you know what? Looking back, they I still looked at the website of that church I grew up at. I went to Lakeview Lutheran Church in Maplewood, and they still do good deeds. I mean, I think that the book in Revelation, the church in Revelation, that does good deeds. They have no idea what's in the Bible. They have no idea what's in the Bible, but they do good deeds. You know? And so that's kind of good. At least they like bag up food and I don't know, whatever. There's some good things. I can't say. And you know what? It really was up to us. They should have told us to read the Bible and stuff, but I don't know. It says, let no man teach you. You're not really supposed to rely on the church to teach you. It's really more for fellowship. It really is. A church is for fellowship, plain and simple. And that's really what it should be. You know what I mean? Why should they teach you stuff? Because what if they teach you wrong? You know what I mean? Anyway, you should pick up the Bible, learn it yourself, and decide. Because, I don't know, come up with lots of conclusions. Everybody can read the same Bible and come up with 1,000 different conclusions. What was Apollo God most known for? Well, we know what that is, the god of the sun and light. And you know, this is probably what the Catholic Church is, sun worship, you know what I mean? Apollo's mostly known for being the god of the sun and light. He's also the god of poetry, healing, music, plagues. Plagues. Knowledge, order, prophecy, beauty, agriculture, and archery. He's got it all, you guys. He's got it all. That's not a bad resume. What is Apollo's weakness? He's got a weakness. It's like Superman. It's got kryptonite. They all got one, right? The Lutherans have many divisions: LCMS, Wells, ELCA, Lutheran Brethren, and so on. They can't even agree among themselves, which is a red flag for me. Yeah. Well, none of them can. How come everybody can pick up the same New Testament and have 1,000 different churches with 1,000 different conclusions? Yes, you follow commandments. No, you don't. Yes, you do. Yes, you don't. No, you do. You speak in tongues. You don't speak in tongues. This is how you speak in tongues. You don't speak in tongues like that. And oh my goodness. But somehow they all have the give us money down. That's what they do have in common. They can agree on that. One thing they can agree on is that they want 10% of your money for some reason. All right, let's find out what Apollo's weakness is. Yeah, you're right. This should all be red flags. But, you know, I was kind of busy. I had kids right away. I got married. By 21, I was married with 2 kids. I got busy and stuff, and I don't know. Who's paying attention, right? But when I got older and had time to learn it for myself, and it's like, ruh-roh. There's some red flags all over the place. You know, once you're allowed to critically think for yourself, you know what I mean, John? Like, once you give yourself permission to critically think, you can think it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to ask questions. It's okay to say, hey, wait a minute. If he's God, then how come this guy's doing that? And all that kind of stuff. Like, it's okay to ask questions. It's okay to question the book. It's once you give yourself, once you give yourself permission to think critically, I think I've heard that on, I don't know how many. Lots of people who are no longer in Christianity are saying the same thing. As soon as I started thinking critically for myself, then I had to give it up. Mark Hardy, Barry Scarborough, Marcus D., Ron Empson, or Epperson, none of them. Yeah. And just think, even on YouTube, none of them can agree. Nobody can agree on nothing. Now, what kind of a book is that? I've said it all along. What kind of a manual? Could you imagine going to a job and everybody gets handed the same exact manual to run machines, and you're all running the machines differently? I've said it before, like, oh, you're supposed to run. No, you're supposed to put the oil in before you start it. You're supposed to put the oil in after you shut it off. You know what I mean? No, you're not supposed to calibrate it. Yes, you're supposed to calibrate it. What if everybody had like different? You'd say, okay, this manual is really screwed up. We need a better manual, because every employee that comes in thinks something different. We need there's a faulty man. It's not these people's fault. It's the manual. We need a better manual, because how come 50 employees read the same manual and all are doing different things? And they all have valid points. That's the killer part of it. They all have good points. Like, no, it says right here, put the oil in before you start it. But wait, over here it says put the oil in after you start it, or put the oil in after you run it. No, it says, but on page 45, it says you always put it in while it's running. And you'd say, yeah, this is a messed up manual. We need a new manual, because they're right. All the employees are right. I can't blame the employees for running the machines, everybody using it differently. Hey, Grace, how you doing tonight? Welcome in, Shalom. All right, yeah, good to see you. I hope you had a wonderful, beautiful Sunday. It was so nice out. Good to see you tonight, Grace. Oh, how was your day with your children? I hope it was wonderful, as I'm assuming it is. Good to see you. Hope all is well. She says hi, John, and Shalom. Good to see you, Grace. How was your? It was so beautiful in Minnesota. It was actually at the end of the, I don't know, later in the day, I had to get a sweater on again. It was kind of chilly, but not bad. Good for working. So when you get hot, it's all evens out. Good to see it. Excuse me, it's pounded in my water. We're just going over Apollo. We didn't really start too much. Didn't miss too much. Apollo, actually, as you know, is the sun god. And it's also, the Romans also call him Apollo. They didn't change his name. He's Apollo too. Had change of plans. They're still camping. Decided to stay longer. I've been cooking all day. Oh, have you? You know what I ordered? I think I told you, I finally found some beef tallow, but it's not in any store. Walmarts don't have it. Nobody has it. You got to order it. Beef tallow. So I'm excited to get that for if I ever do some frying again, which I do on occasion. I don't. It's unhealthy, and it makes a mess of my stove. I have to take my whole stove apart and clean it. So I don't fry too often, but if I do fry, I'm going to be using beef tallow from now on, instead of that trans fat stuff. That's killer. But anyway, well, they must be having a good time camping. It's a perfect. They had perfect weather. Didn't really rain or anything. Maybe at night it did, but anyway, the daytime it's been beautiful. We had some nice puffy clouds and blue skies today. No smoke or haze, which is nice. But you know what? I'm still not sure that was smoke, because it didn't smell like smoke. It had no smell. It looked like over chemtrailing with some, I don't know, extra juice for the clouds. It made it cold and dark. It was like Mr. Freeze from Batman. Anyway, well, good to see you tonight, Grace. I told John that I moved my desk. I'm facing north for the first time since I've been here. So if I get disorientated, that's what it is. Did Elvis make his appearance? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I had to laugh because you know what? I looked for Space Needle on news events. Nothing. Some girl is posting her flag on it a few days ago. I looked at Seattle News. Nothing. Oh, and he just went live about 5 minutes ago. No, make an excuse. He's already getting mad because it's not coming true. Now, if it's not today, it's 1,000,000% next year. He says that otherwise it doesn't make sense. He says that every year. Otherwise, it won't make sense. Yeah, never did. No, I mean, Elvis is still in my backyard. You guys, spotlights on Elvis. Oh my goodness, look at spotlights on Elvis. He is in my backyard. I don't know how to get this thing up. How do I get that off? Hold on a second. Let me get this. You guys, Elvis is in my backyard. Hold on a second. I need a mouse though. Oh, come on. I got a thing up on the screen because I unplugged it. I had to move everything. Come on, get off there. Elvis, he's in my backyard. Look at the spotlight on him. Is that a spotlight or what? I'm not doing that, you guys. I don't know why that's happening. There's a cat. Look at that. There's a spotlight on him. Look at that. What is that? There's Elvis. Look at the spotlight on him. What is that? Is that the Space Needle? Wow, that's crazy, man. Wow. I don't know how that happened. I gotta get out of here. No, just kidding. It's the UFO. Oh, is it? Hey, yeah, that's right. I heard that there was a UFO landed in somebody's backyard. Did that really happen? All right, hold on a second. Where alien invasion's coming, you guys. Just like the Illuminati deck of cards said it would. Alien invasion. I told my dad years ago. And yeah, I don't know if you believe me or not, but since they came out with the UFO Air Force or the new military for the UFOs, now he believes me. Did I order a probe? No. Should I? Should I go out and probe Elvis? I think that would be offensive to him. Even to ask. I wouldn't know where to stick the probe. You know? I don't know. I'm not sure. Whoa, those things are moving, you guys. What is that? Come on, man. There's light moving in it. Look at that. I don't know if you can see it. There's light moving inside here. Like circling. I don't know what that is. You see it? There's energy inside that. What is it? Can you see that? Can you see the energy inside that thing? What in blazes is that? Oh, it doesn't really have it. This one does. Looks like an egg ready to hatch. Look at that. Is that a baby getting ready to be born? Oh my goodness, there's Elvis. What is that? Look at there's energy inside of it. It's like something getting ready to be born out of a cocoon. What in the heck? There's Elvis. I don't know what that is in my yard. Look at, there's another one growing right there. Whoa, dude. Look at that. What in the heck? There's another cat. What is that? They're pulsating. My goodness. I can't go out to my backyard now until it gets light out. I don't know what's going on back there. Oh, it's good. Wrong button. All right. Anyway, that is really weird. Never saw that in my backyard like that. I mean, Elvis has been back to like for a month, but maybe 2 months. I never saw those pulsate. Oh, now the top one's breathing. Oh, they're all coming to life, you guys. Oh, that is so weird. Yeah. That is weird. Now they're all doing it. Look at it. And now the top ones. What the heck was that? Yeah. See it? Now that one's pulsating. I don't know if you can see it. If those feral cats start getting raptured up into the UFO, well, yeah, the top one's breathing now too. I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, see the top one? What in the heck is that? There's another one. There is something flying around there. I don't know what that is. Weird. All right. I don't know what the heck's going on in my backyard. All right, it's okay. Everybody remain calm. Okay, get back where I'm at. All right. Sorry for people who are listening on the replay and you're trying to figure out about Apollo and his weakness. Sorry about that. All right. Apollo's weakness. What was Apollo's weakness? Yes, he had a weakness. It is nymphs. Nymphs. Nymps. Nymphs. Nymphs were Apollo's weaknesses. Nymphs. And he was considered unlucky in love. Oh, poor Apollo. Apollo was involved in several relationships, but never got married. Huh. He was also one of the 12 Olympians. Yep, that's what we're studying, the 12 Olympians. Apollo could be cruel. Well, that's why he's got no woman. But he was known to be kind to his sister and mother. Huh. Huh. Interesting. All right. Let's keep going. What is Apollo's facts and characteristics? Apollo was Olympian god of prophecy and oracles, music, song, and poetry, archery, healing, plague and disease, and the protection of the young. He was depicted as a handsome, beardless youth with long hair and attributes such as a wreath and branch of laurel, bow and quiver of arrows, raven and lyre, little harp thing he's got. What are 5 interesting facts about Apollo? Apollo, who is Apollo in Greek mythology? 5 facts. Apollo is the Greek god of the sun and light. Greek god Apollo, image courtesy of news. He's always got like the wreath thing over his head. I forgot what they say, a branch of laurel. I'm not sure what laurel is. God of music, poetry, healing, agriculture, prophecy, and is it agriculture prophecy? So like prophesies agriculture and archery. He is twin brother to Artemis, the goddess of hunting. Apollo is patron god to the city of Delphi. That's kind of interesting because Apollo is a Greek god of agriculture, growing, and his twin brother is a god of hunting. It reminds me of both Cain and Abel and Jacob and the one who stole the birthright. Laurel is a wreath worn around the head. Oh, okay. It's funny because a lot of the Greek gods did that. Same with Dionysus, and anyway, that's what the in the 60s they were channeling those gods with the wreaths on their head. Anyway, and it's kind of funny because Jesus ends up with kind of a wreath of thorns. You know what I mean? Apollo is a patron god to the city of Delphi. What is Apollo's main power? Well, when you're the sun god, yeah, that's everyone will die if you don't raise the sun in their eyes. I suppose they, yeah, they probably had to worship him. Who did Apollo love the most? Daphne. In the myth, Apollo falls madly in love with Daphne, a woman sworn to remain a virgin. Apollo hunts Daphne, who refuses to accept his advances. Right at the moment he catches her, she turns into a laurel tree. Oh, that's where you get the laurel branch. A scene famously depicted in Bernini's Apollo and Daphne sculpture. Oh, right here. So, okay, the moment he catches her, she turned into a laurel tree. So, see, he catches her, finally catches her, she turns into a laurel tree, but he must have taken a branch and put it on his head. Case solved with a laurel tree. Why was Apollo so loved? Well, he was the sun. Yeah, I mean, Apollo was a much loved god, and he was most likely due to association with many positive aspects of the human condition, such as music, poetry, purification, healing, and medicine. The god was also associated with moderation in all things. That's probably really good advice for everybody. You can really probably do a lot of things as long as it's in moderation. What is Apollo's story? All right, well, we already went through Zeus, right? Apollo, most widely revered of the Greek gods, he communicated with the will of his father Zeus, and made humans aware of their guilt and purified them of it. It's kind of like Jesus made them aware their, or John the Baptist made humans aware of their guilt and purified them of it, presided over religious and civil law, and foretold the future. His bow symbolized distance, death, terror, and awe. His lyre symbolized music, poetry, and dance. What was his biggest fear? Shut up. Oh, it's killing me. I'm not even going to read that. It was about the Apollo mission, Apollo 11 mission. Oh man. Oh, by the way, yeah, they did name the fake space missions after this guy. Put that on his resume. Anyway, yeah. I like this thing here. Apollo is same name in Rome and Greece, so the Romans kept his name Apollo. They like that. Apollo is the god of the sun and light. Apollo is the son of Jupiter. That didn't we just go over Jupiter? Can't remember. I think we did. Maybe not. Apollo is usually represented as an athletic, sporty, and healthy young man with a harp and a bow with arrows. Apollo had 4 horses that he is associated with. Many stories about Apollo show him to have many lovers. But he was not lucky in love. Poor Apollo. Oh, and that's why at the beginning here. So he had the harp because he's the music. There's his wreath on his head from the girl that turned into a tree when he finally caught her. The music, poetry, all that crap. I just kidding. All that stuff. And here he is with the arch and the flaming arrow and the sun. And I'm not sure what this is. Bon Jovi Days. This is Days as an 80s rocker. I'm not sure. Oh yeah, I think arrows and I don't know, it's got all of it, I guess. Wasn't there a horse involved? I thought there was a horse involved. Maybe not. Maybe not. But Apollo's a big one. He's rock star. He's a rock star. I think that's it. I think a lot of people already know about Apollo, but and yes, and the space missions were named after Apollo. Some of them. Now I'm just going to name 5 before I wrap it up. I'm going to name 5 unbelievable Apollo Greek god facts. All right, Apollo is one of 12 Olympian gods, which we know. Well, the 12 major ones. He had a twin sister, Artemis, who he often accompanies in his myths. He's the son of Olympian god Zeus and Titan goddess Leto. So Zeus and Leto was his mommy and daddy. Apollo did not invent the lyre. Apollo is often credited for inventing the lyre, a musical instrument made out of strings and a tortoise shell. Isn't that kind of cool? They took a tortoise shell, put strings on it, and there you go. You got a tortoise shell instrument. The first guitar, huh? Before his Bon Jovi days. A musical instrument made out of strings and tortoise shell, but it is actually the trickster Hermes who invented the instrument. We're going to go over Hermes one of these next couple days. Oh, I got him. So one day Hermes had stolen several of Apollo's cattle. When Apollo discovered his cattle were missing, he went looking for them and found Hermes was the one who had taken them. Hermes was a fellow Olympian and was the Greek god of many things, including travel, trickery, and thievery. Well, you don't want to be around Hermes. Apollo demanded that Hermes return his cattle. Instead, Hermes began playing music on his lyre, and Apollo could not resist. As the Greek god of music, he was mesmerized by the music and asked Hermes for the instrument. Hermes agreed that he would let Apollo have the lyre if he could keep his cattle in return. Apollo agreed and was often seen depicted with a lyre or even credited with inventing the lyre ever since. So I could probably turn this camera on. What the heck? It's not coming on. Anyway, so why is this camera coming on? That's weird. All right, there it is. So no, Apollo did not invent the lyre, but he was like involved in it. Apollo had a twin sister, Artemis. Artemis is a Greek goddess of hunting and animals. She was only one of 3 virgin goddesses. Because she was the Greek goddess of hunting and animals, she's often depicted with a bow and arrow. Fellow hunter Orion became best friends with Artemis, and they would often hunt together during the day and at night. Apollo was worried that his twin sister had not upheld her promise to remain pure, so he had decided to get rid of Orion. Apollo lied to his sister and said Orion was an evil villain who had just come into the city and raped one of her best friends, and he was now fleeing by swimming out to sea. Artemis was furious and immediately hunted down this villain. She saw him swimming out to sea, so she pulled back an arrow and fatally shot him, only to find out that it was Orion whom she killed. I remember that story. Next, number 3, Apollo helps the Trojans in the Trojan War. Apollo was one of the only Greek deities who helped the Trojans in the Trojan War. And this is Greek. Now, this is not whatever we were just talking about. I'm getting distracted because I'm reading something. I'm trying to read and think. Apollo helps the Trojans in the Trojan War. Symbols associated with Apollo. As we already know, the lyre and the bow and the wreath and all that stuff. I'm pretty sure that the Catholics somehow this influenced the Catholic, because everything they have is rays of the sun and sun worship. I mean, it was probably the Greek version, but whatever. And then his son. Where am I at? 102. Okay. There's Wubby Wubs. All right. We'll end it there because that sums up. It sums up Apollo, our wonderful space program named after Apollo. Apollyon in the Greek. Actually, I think it's Apollon. But in Revelation, I think it's Apollyon. Anyway, who's counting? So, anyway, I'll wrap it up and get off of here. And see what's going on in my backyard. I have no idea what that stuff is in my backyard. So does the prophet still believe that Apollo will turn into a dot? He is kind of a sun worshiper, isn't he? No, because Mike from around the world isn't saying so anymore, so he doesn't believe it. Mike from around the world has to tell him he's turning into a dot, and he'll believe it again. He has to believe what he disappeared, and you know who else disappeared at the same time? And she's back. The one with the sun turning in the dot animation. She's another one. She disappeared like it was supposed to be May 20th or something like that of a couple years ago. And she disappeared like 5 days before that and disappeared for a year. So, yep. 2 weeks before it's supposed to happen, she disappeared and never came back. But now she is back, and it's the same thing. Forgot what her name was. But anyway, they come back. They've just got no shame. And I think it makes them a lot of money. I don't know. There goes another guarantee. I know it was 1,000,000%. Just like Jurassic Loser there. He said it was 1,000,000%. Even though there's really nothing, there is nothing over 100%. Once you're at 100%, anything over that is BS. Because if I have a cup right in front of me, and right now it's filled with about 80% water. Now, all I can fit in this cup is 100% water. Do you think I can fit 1,000,000% water in this cup? Or even 150% water? No. How about 1,000% water? No. I can only fit 100% water in this cup. Anything over that is just a BS story. And anytime somebody goes over 100% on a guarantee or anything like that, you know that they're trying hard to fool you. That's somebody who's desperate. 1,000,000%. You know what I wanted to do? I got another channel. Not my other channel, but I got another channel. I was thinking about starting to put videos about him and other people on that other channel. Now, I could put it on Mark's channel. But I was, yeah, nice math, huh? Yeah. And the August, whatever, head wound, it ain't going to happen either. That's why he hates anyone with the education, all teachers. Yeah. Yeah. Keep wanting to do a video about him on that, but you know, he's a lot of work. He's exhausting. You know what I mean? I could do it by videos all day, every day, and not even cover. But at this point, you know, it almost seems like everybody knows. He's got like, I don't know, 4 ladies. He's got like 4 women who are in their 70s and 60s. Cynthia's aging up in their 60s and 70s. He's got like 4 or 5 of those. That's about it. Everybody else has moved on, you know what I'm saying? Good for them. How many times can you hear that he could have been rich and they tried to write a book about him? Before you just either vomit, jump off a cliff, or change the channel. You gotta do one of them. Turn the thing back on because I can't see what I'm doing. Anyway, hate all education. Well, you know, if you're not taught how to read, then how can you study a Bible? I mean, if nobody teaches you how to read, you're not going to be able to read a Bible unless somebody teaches you how. I mean, school is good for some things. I've learned a lot in school. And then, I don't know, after 10th grade, I just started just having a good time. Oh, I had so many friends. We had just a great time. It was great for socializing in high school, I'm telling you. Parties, and it was like, man, it was like some of my best times were in high school. But I learned a lot. I mean, you learn how to read. What is school for? Let's learn how to read and write and do arithmetic. The 3 R's. But you know what I mean? It's not like you drop them off on kindergarten and pick them up on graduation day and they've, you know, I mean, I think there are places you can do that, but, you know, most people don't do that. Everybody teaches their own kids. You don't leave it up to school. That's bullcrap. But, you know, if, and you know when it started, Grace? It started when, you know, you brought it to my attention. That day when somebody said, boy, Mark, the school system really failed you. After that, it was yeah. After that, he was going to destroy the school system. Yeah, because somebody said, boy, Mark, the school system really failed you. Or something. He doesn't know how to speak or anything, because he drops out in 8th grade. What do you expect? That means you probably stopped trying in 5th or 6th. I mean, if you ever tried at all. You know what I mean? We had a lot of stuff. We had home ec, we had shop, we had I don't know, science, all kinds of good stuff. How come he goes to doctors? They're educated. Where is his faith? Right. Yeah. If he hates doctors and hates educated people, then why don't you just, where's your faith? No faith. Aren't Christians supposed to be anti-doctor? And you know what I mean? That's what he tells everybody else. Where's your faith? And you know, why didn't when David was going to kill Goliath, why did he bring a weapon? Where was his faith? Why didn't he just trust in the Lord? Trust in the Lord. And by the way, you know the original story of David and Goliath? Goliath was only 6'9", which isn't tall at all, really. I mean, it's a basketball player, you know what I mean? If that. But the story grew with time, and then he turned into, instead of 6'9", he was 9'6". And as the story went down the years, you know what I mean? Years later, it's like, no, man, he was, you know, just like any fish story. Right, a sling is a projectile. It's the same thing. Same as a gun, it's a projectile. It shoots a projectile. Same thing. Yep. So where was his faith? Why didn't he just like cross his arms and blink like I dream a genie, and then with his faith, he can make him knock over, fall over. Where was David's faith with that slingshot? Should just do the I dream a genie thing. Just say zoinks, and then see what happens. And if they bum rush you and kill you, then your faith was just jacked up. According to YouTube prophets. All right. Well, Seattle failed. We did not see Elvis shoot through space needle. Mark Hardy's debt ceiling collapse June 1st did not happen. Another failed prophecy. A very disappointing month. June has been very disappointing as far as prophecies failing. I'm not sure how many other are on deck, but it's not been a good month for the YouTube prophets. Horrible month. All right. Well, thank you, Father, for gathering us. Praise goes to you. Amen. All right. Well, thanks for coming in, Grace and John, and anybody else that was here, or anybody that listens on the replay. Thanks for listening on the replay and all that good stuff. Did I miss anybody or no? John came in. And Grace, and I don't think I missed anybody. Any hoosers, I'm going to get back to some projects here. And all that good stuff. So anyway, thanks for coming in, guys, and hope to see you tomorrow night, and hope y'all have a great day. Grace, send me over some of that good stuff that you're cooking. I'm sure it is delicious. Can't wait to get my talon, beef fat. I think I'm going to fry some chicken in it. Not sure. French fries or something. Can't wait to try that out. I don't eat much fried food, but I'm looking forward to that. That's when things took a turn for the worse in 90s. All that trans fat and all that vegetable oil and all that garbage. Guess what it causes? The two leading causes of death: heart disease and cancer. That's right. Anyway, well, thank you, Grace. Love, prayers, blessings. All have a great evening. You too, Grace. Everybody have a great rest of the evening. Hope you all have an awesome day tomorrow. God bless you all. Glory to God and shalom.